Hello, welcome back to the Detour.
Yay!
Where we stop making the show and start talking about the show.
Yay!
Gosh, you guys. This is the Detour for episodes 9 to 13. Let's hope we get through everything that happened. So much stuff happened!
So much stuff has happened in the show.
Too many things.
And it's only been 7 canonical days.
It's not even. It's been like 5 days.
It's been 5 canonical days.
It's really giving like the first 7 days of Kingdom Hearts 2 take 3.5 hours to play through.
3.5. Try like 8.
Well, you're obviously not reading the game FAQs board about how to get through it faster.
Well, I had to raise all that money for the beach. I didn't realize it was all going to get stolen.
Oh no!
I did have to give letters to all of those pigeons. I didn't know I could skip that part. I thought I had to do everything. I thought we were gonna go to the beach. Everybody was supposed to get watermelon.
Welcome to my Kingdom Hearts 2 fan cast.
Oh my god!
If I had been lucky enough to have a PlayStation 2 and played that game, Mayana just would have gotten a lot of party points. But guess what, parents? You stopped Mayana from getting those points.
You can get it on Steam now.
On Steam now that I'm an adult and don't have time.
It's like the last unicorn. How dare you come to me now when I am this?
It's a new party crown, but it's the cutout from the Kingdom Key, and it like floats slightly.
Misha.
Again, I don't understand these references.
Nothing means anything.
I'm going to make this a Kingdom Hearts fan cast if my life depends on it.
I will help you in that effort. I will just keep keep being the person I already am.
No, instead, let's make a fan cast of the show we make.
I'm a big fan of this show.
Let's get into it. Let's talk about episode 9.
Please.
Episode 9, which I thought was going to start with like a bunch of combat, and then didn't.
because why? Remind me?
I'm sorry, because Paz and Ibra wrecked my shit. Because Paz and Ibra
wrecked your shit.
No, Ibra, you also fucking wrecked my shit. You guys dealt like 35 damage in 2 shots, and I had nothing.
It was so good.
It was great. And then thank you, Ian, for coming up with a game on the fly so we had something to do that day.
Oh, I forgot about that game. The cooking game.
Cooking game.
Yeah.
I love it. I remember in the lore of like what was going on, like I remember it was just a vibes were off day. I remember like everybody came in with just like, we were just like having it was just a time for everybody.
Yeah.
And so like.
We were in a weird soup kind of day.
Yeah, we were in a weird soup as people.
Yeah.
And so then like the game I felt like was like this beautiful little holding space, a bowl for the soup.
Yeah, a
if
bowl
you will.
for the soup.
Yep.
Part of that being the cooking game.
Yeah.
I think that was really what made the soup come together.
The cooking game and the menu selection at Genie's Do are the 2 things that I have done right on the fly. Like, and I really have truly tuned out for like 10 minutes while like y'all have been playing. I'm like, I have an idea. And I'm over here like looking up to make sure everyone like knows I'm here, but I do not hear what's happening.
I still think about that menu ordering scene like to this day.
I love that.
I
So good.
adored that.
You have a gift.
For food.
For food. For describing food in an audio medium.
Yeah. This is truly audio dungeon meshy.
Yeah. That's
which is where that came from, for sure. I was watching a lot of Dungeon Meshy, and then we would talk about it when I came over here.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, that just wasn't a thing 5 years ago or 10 years ago. There just wasn't as much of a show about cooking, I don't think. I mean, there was the Academy one that you and Erin watched.
Erin, my partner and our production manager, watches a ton of cooking anime.
Yeah.
But I agree that there has been a proliferation, if you will, of cozy anime.
I'll be the one to say it. Food Wars has a weird first episode, but there's a lot of delightful other stuff in there.
But it is really good.
That's so true.
Yeah, they talk about umami. They explained it to me.
Maybe the proliferation of it with people who were like, man, Food Wars is such a good cooking show. I wish it wasn't so horny.
Yeah, I know.
They go together.
Let's have Dungeon Meshy, a show that's only horny sometimes.
Only like they turn the horny dial down to 3, which is where it should
simmer.
be. Yes,
to get the glaze.
Not a rolling boil of horny.
Yeah.
Rolling boil
just
of
enough
horny.
for the sauce to just warm
Can that
up.
be the episode title?
Oh, God. No. I don't know what to give you for that.
You don't have to give me anything. You've already given it to me, and it's the title of the episode.
I think that's a gold star for Lynn, though.
I think that's a gold star.
There you go.
Of course, that's how I get the gold star.
A rolling boil of Horny.
Okay, we're talking about gold stars. Ian, give us the party points update. Let's check the leaderboard.
Let's check the leaderboard. Okay. Starting at what you know, we're at basic standard party points. Mayana has been in the lead since day one and is still in the lead with 14.
Yes.
And then one party point that I resent giving. So there's a separate column for points I resent giving. I don't remember why.
That's for damn, I feel like a half elf.
That's what that fucking
That
was. Great. Bex, you have 9. Well, you had 9, but you lost one for
Oh, there was like a pun.
ground beef. It was the ground beef pun or flow butts, something like that.
It was probably flow butts.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to flow butts in a second.
Oh boy.
So you lost 1 point for flow butts. You have 2 half points. One of them shared with Misha from 5 minutes ago.
And the other one also shared with Misha from last time we were recording.
There you go. Lynn, you have 10 points.
Woo.
I had 5, 6. I had 12, but I just keep losing them for bad puns.
Because you fly too close to the sun sometimes.
Yeah, so I have 3 points.
That sounds right.
Misha, you have 9 points.
Whoa.
One of them for Samira's awkward crush breathing.
Yes.
Oh my god,
If there's one thing I love doing on microphone, it's awkward teen heavy breathing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You also have 3 half points, and then
Now, at what point is that not just... It's like when you get half a medallion in the Legends of the Hidden Temple. Like, you have to go find the other half of a point in the maze.
Yes, it doesn't count. Okay, then we have my favorite corner of the leaderboard. Times Misha's dog tried to be a part of the podcast.
Yes.
Does anyone guess how many times Max has made sound while
27.
Just
83.
so many.
27.
It's 18.
Oh, I win.
I overshot it.
That's how old he is.
Yeah.
Oh, you can vote.
And then the last 3 pieces on the board, we have gold stars. So it's like sometimes you do something that's not super funny, but it's like, it's extra credit. It's good student stuff.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I love it.
Lynn
Misha has the 1,000-yard stare as they're just like, okay.
I simply cannot control it.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I do.
By the time we're done, this is going to be a packet, and every page is going to be full. Lynn has 1 gold star. I have 3 gold stars. Mayana has 2 gold stars. Erin Bark has 3 gold stars.
As she should.
Yes.
The party crown, which is like you are the wearer of the best jokes so far until the next best joke of the podcast has happened, is currently me on July 13th.
You stole it.
I'm trying to remember what joke it was, but it was very funny.
Yeah.
That's why I love you so much, but party points can't matter this much because, like, the whole point is like, man, that was so funny. Why? Who could
Well,
say?
it's a thing that lives in the moment.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's so fun about it. And then we go look back on it and go, wow, look at all the fun we've had.
Yeah.
And then the last piece is guest points. Julian has 3,
Yes.
and Reed, who we'll get to
Yes.
later,
Yes.
has 2.
Fuck yeah.
Wow.
As she should.
That's the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. And
I love.
guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Boo.
There's a guy on TikTok I've been watching. He's from up in Saskatchewan, Canada, and he plays bluegrass, and it's just so captivating. And he starts every video with "Friends and neighbors, howdy to ya." And
I like that.
As like a non-binary greeting, I love it so much.
Howdy to you.
Friends and neighbors, howdy to ya.
I've been using boys, girls, and freaky squirrels.
Ooh, that's good.
There was one that I saw for a Halloween thing, which was like boys, ghouls, and non-binary jewels.
Oh, I was gonna hope it was fools.
Oh, that fools is fun. I like that one too. But I like that
like
they're
jewels.
jewels.
That's a
I'm like,
good one.
ooh, sparkly.
Boy, girl, ghoul, jewel quadrants.
As a
Yes.
political matrix.
Yeah.
Ghosts and fine gemstones.
Everyone's going to love this movie. It's 4 quadrant.
Okay, let's move on a little bit. Episode 10.
One last thing about episode 9.
Oh, yeah.
Having to call in the favor, the car to get us out of the dustbin.
Oh, yeah, finding out Paz's dad.
Yeah.
Finding out about Paz's dad.
That was a big one.
That was wild.
That's true.
You sniffed that. That was another one of those moments where you really grabbed onto it. And at the beginning, I was like, I don't understand what this is. Like, I don't get why you're sniffing something. And then towards the end of the episode, it's like a massive reveal.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so glad Mayana's playing this game because.
Mayana's really good at figuring out the puzzles when she doesn't know their puzzles.
Oh my God.
Absolutely true.
I re-listened to that episode and holy shit. to hear Lynn be like, I've got it.
I'm like, please let me in.
I too still think about that episode to this day.
But then, like, when you did sniff that out in this one, I was like, no, you are so smart. Like, I did not catch that in the slightest, that there was something going on there. It's just like, as far as like the social deduction of it all, like, you have that on lock.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unparalleled.
Yee. I just remember too, because like again, that was from that same day where we were all just kind of in our like weird soup, and I was like, we did it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really came together. I'm so glad. Like, I was seating in little, like, Paz has strange access to resources sometimes. It's a little suspicious, and especially in a game about where your resources come from.
Yeah.
So,
And I think
really...
I was the only player that knew from the jump what that secret was.
Yeah, so Paz is actually, I've really latched onto her. I love her so much. But, like,
She's the best.
Paz really was part of Ibra's backstory that we came up with months and months ago.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Bex actually knew that the whole time.
Wow.
Kept it a secret.
You did a good job.
Because, like, yeah, like, even the inkling of, like, I just chalked it up to, like, oh, wealthy parent, like, you know each other from the constellation.
Right.
And I kind of let that, I took that completely at face value.
Yeah.
And did not question that might have any importance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
is-
I'm excited to like dive even deeper into like more of Paz's history and backstory and the Paz and Ibra like buildup of it all, because like, yeah, we did sort of intentionally design it as, oh yeah, we know each other from the constellation, that's normal. But Paz has never lived on the constellation.
No. Well, yeah, and so like, yes, that's why it was like I was trying to hide it a little bit, but also like, yeah, she's from a weird situation.
Yeah.
And she has complicated feelings about it.
Yeah. As anyone would, I imagine.
Which interests me, and I hope it interests the listeners to our story.
I've gotten texts from people being like, Ibra and Paz's relationship is my favorite thing. And I'm like, me too!
Oh,
So
that's
cute.
so sweet.
I
do love
love
their
you, buddy.
relationship.
Okay, let's move on to episode 10.
Yeah.
Episode 10 was calling Cecilia down from the constellation and visiting JJ's parents.
Yes.
So before, so I in production, I was calling this one and episode 11, I was calling them Family Week.
Yes.
Because we had decided, like, in that moment in the silo, like, y'all were going to sort of talk to your families a little bit. Except for Fran, who's latching onto other people's families.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
So
Found
happy.
family, baby.
And like that really came together, honestly, because there was going to be like 1 week where Bex couldn't be here and another week where Lynn couldn't be here. And I was like, oh, we can go to people's houses and like fill that in later, which I found really fun and like was a cool, fun juke in our production schedule. I don't know. I'm proud of us for making it work.
Me too.
Me too.
We should be. No question about it. We should feel proud
Yeah.
of ourselves for that.
We
Yeah.
kicked butt those 2 weeks.
Yeah, they were two of our best episodes so far. So let's talk about it. Episode 10. Let's start with Gordon and Cecilia.
Yes, please.
Man, playing Cecilia against you is always, how do I say this nicely?
Oh, oh my God.
It's always exciting. It really gets my heart pumping. I never know what's going to happen.
Throwing you some curveballs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really happy with the way that leveled out. If I had created like some long-running Cecilia tension, I feel like that would be some stress that I was carrying week to week. So I'm glad that I got to like play it for 1 week and create a little bit of dramatic tension and then resolve it and ultimately get closer to Cecilia.
Absolutely.
It's actually, sidebar, there's something that we didn't address that I want to kind of retcon, which is like we didn't talk about what happened to BG.
Yeah. I was going to cover that next episode, but yeah, I am interested in that.
So I wonder if she's taking care of BG. While we're up there.
Yeah, because if you, like, there's a chance she knows him
And
from
well,
before.
so I was actually re-listening to it,
Right.
and because Ian had asked if BG had visible ribs showing, and Misha, you said it seems like he probably eats the rolls every time Cecilia comes to do delivery.
Yeah.
So he's actually very well fed. So I think BG and Cecilia do know each other very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that
makes sense.
That's a
canon
new
now.
outlet for dramatic tension.
Yeah.
I mean, I just really loved doing that scene, and I loved that we landed the plane.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't have to like create more consequences in the future.
Yeah, and she legitimately did get mad in that moment, but like, it's nice that you only used pissing her off as like an emergency thing where you needed her to go somewhere quickly.
Right.
And then as soon as that was resolved, you were like, no, I'm done lying to you. Like I want to come clean.
Yeah.
It just really, it shows who Gordon is. It shows that like Gordon will use the tools at his disposal, but only for the fraction of a second where he has to. And then he goes back to being a really nice guy.
Yeah, big old softy.
Yeah.
Soft roll, soft, sweet, buttered roll.
Yeah.
Cinnamon
roll.
Yeah. Precious cinnamon roll. Too good for this world.
And as someone who wasn't there and who had like a stake in this reveal, I loved that there was the reveal of Ibra's siblings and the triplicate.
Was juicy.
That was pretty fun. I didn't tell you I was going to do that.
Nope.
And then I realized that the next episode was us playing Ibra's siblings.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, this will be a cool, like, delayed payoff for people who, like, were missing between episodes. I was playing my own fun little game.
I loved it.
Cool. I'm glad.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I also loved, like, the reactions from the players and the characters of, like, wait, what? Hold on. There's another Ibra?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I forget that it's triplets, that you all look basically identical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only difference is where your hexblood mark is, and yours is the one that's on your forehead.
Mine is the one that's just hardest to hide.
Yeah.
Do you have like a gnarly comb over?
I do.
Yeah, like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, because she's got a birthmark like right on her forehead.
Yeah.
So she's got you never see it because she has like a very specific bang. She's got like a big birthmark on the left side of her forehead.
Oh yeah, no. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Harry Potter, so it's just always the bang.
So funny.
Okay, hold on. Before we get to Ibra's siblings, I do want to cover. No, it's fine. But listen, I just want to do things. Or I'm trying to have like a show.
Damn it.
Let's talk about JJ's family.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about the Clan Calderon.
Oh my God, that was so fun.
Oh my God. I loved having Fran there because like both JJ loved having Fran there and Lynn loved having Fran and Mayana there. Just having someone in your corner in that kind of situation.
Absolutely. Having an outside witness, families are on better behavior.
Yeah. That was juicy. That was a lot. I was like internally screaming the whole time.
Yeah, like so Lynn, I want to ask you about this because all of that, your entire family was in your like prep document before we started the show. So like in the coming together of it, did it match your expectations? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we talked about it kind of at length too, which obviously helps. And I don't know if I mentioned this on mic or not, but I was like, oh, like this is a very Filipino family. I want to make sure that that's baked in there. And for you, who is not Filipino,
not only that, I don't know if I've ever experienced a Filipino family. Like
so
that.
It's like you did latch onto the specific things that I had in mind of like, oh, here there are certain personalities and like their motivations, like. If we're doing a world that's really informed by their environment, what is the environment that this character could come from and what does that look like? And you said it where you're like, oh, I understand a lot more about why, like about this specific character's like neuroticism.
Yeah.
That's like, it all comes from like really good intention, but it is also like you could see the expectation that was built around them.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
It's a really great exploration of like intent versus impact.
Oh, yo.
Yeah. So I did really love that little glimpse into that. I love family weeks when it comes to characters in general. I love filler episodes for that reason. It's like you have to see a character in a context that's not necessarily the plot.
Yes.
And the argument I would make there is that's not filler. Like that's just as much plot as it is. Like I saw this YouTube video a long time ago that was like, does Steven Universe have filler episodes?
Nope.
Yeah.
Because even the episodes that aren't explicitly about the gems, you're getting lore in every episode.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I once said this at a convention panel, but like you need filler episodes so that you can see what the characters will do in ordinary scenarios so that you can have an expectation of how they will react in extraordinary scenarios.
That's the fill.
Yeah.
Like
of the filler.
Yeah, like it's not like we're adapting a manga that ran out of chapters.
No.
Yeah. Filler is filling in the gaps, not filling in empty spaces.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's filling in more information that you didn't expect to be receiving.
It's answering questions that you might not have like
Even known you
initially had. Yeah, but that give you like all the context that you need.
I think honestly that was one of what you surprised me with, Mayana, was when you dropped some Fran tidbits in there. Where we're like, when you were like, I'm just latching onto other people's families. I was like, why?
What's the story there?
But like that was something that we had talked about, like production wise. Like, we're doing some family week, but Fran's just along for the ride. Is that?
And as soon as we said that, you were like, "Yep, that's what she would do."
Yeah, and I was like,
yeah.
And so when you did give a little bit of that insight, again, that's like an unexpected avenue to be able to do that. And I think it was one of those moments of like seeing our characters' relationships develop on screen, so to speak. I was like, I don't think Fran and JJ had ever spoken about family with each other ever. It doesn't seem like we're making like really intense eye contact. Absolutely not.
But
locked in.
Like from the world building, like Fran, you had like you worked with Ibra and like Gordon delivers that. Like JJ and you were the furthest apart, so to have that most of an episode to give you guys that closeness was really cool to watch.
Oh, thank you. Well, the other thing I think about too, because I think about it with like the relationships that I built in like college or the relationships that I built when I first moved here. How long into your friendships before you ask anything about each other's families? Unless it's like a hot button issue or like something specific is happening in the moment that you become friends. I think that like people start to exist as autonomous individuals, and to get that backstory, you kind of have to be curious about it.
Yeah.
So any listeners out there, I encourage you to ask your friends about their families if you don't know about them, because it's very interesting.
And you should ask them like the most triggering questions.
No, don't ask the triggering questions, but like, where is your family?
Do you have siblings?
Do you talk to them? Yeah. Do you have siblings? Because like, even if they don't have a relationship with your family, that's also a context that I think informs how they move through the world. And
the myth of the lone wolf is just that. It's a myth.
Absolutely.
The lone wolf is a wolf looking for its next pack.
Yes.
And humans are just like that.
Yeah.
Also, the guy that coined the term lone wolf has been trying to spend his whole life undoing the damage from that one specific study he did, because it was a very niche study on wolves in captivity.
In captivity, like the alpha and the omega aren't real.
Yeah.
Like,
so even
how do you guys all know this? What is happening right now?
Have you ever listened to the You're Wrong About podcast?
Oh, got
it's
it.
Not sponsored. Not
sponsored. Just a fan.
No free ads.
No free ads. OSHA certified.
OSHA is the only one who gets free ads.
Get Michael Hobbs on this podcast, I swear to God. I will fangirl so hard.
Yo, we have to get Michael Hobbs as a secret special guest and not tell my Anna.
As the head of New Prosper OSHA.
There we go.
Honestly, and he would.
Calling our shot now.
That's my parasocial relationship if you want to be on this podcast.
Let's move on to episode 11. Let's go up to Ibra's family estate.
Oh my god. I was so mad I wasn't there for it. I mean, it worked out so wonderfully, but it was like, listening back to it, I was riveted. I was screaming at the car speed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was such a like a unique day. First off, that Reed was here.
Yeah.
Second, that Lynn was not
Shocking.
here. Third, that that Mayana and Ian, you two, I was like, you're playing new characters today.
It.
Go.
Yeah. It was
and
so
that
much
you
fun.
gave them such life so quickly. Like,
what are we, actors, Ian? Like, what? Like,
crazy.
I know.
Have you considered a career in this or something?
Ian, have you thought about it? Because I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, so let's talk about
That's a party point for me.
so let's talk about Ibra's family too, because just like we talked about JJ's family in advance and how that informs who JJ is now as a person, Bex, you and I also talked about Ibra's family and how that informs who they are as a person, and that it was bad.
Yeah, from good to bad.
Yeah.
I wanted like a really, really complicated family dynamic that like was painful to exist in, and like that be the reason that Ibra has gone so far away, but still has to go back regularly. And like
Gilmore Girls.
the turmoil
Very
of that.
Gilmore Girls,
The turmoil of like, I do love these people. I do need to maintain this connection, and it does hurt me actively to do so.
Yeah.
Because that's just juicy.
In another genre, that would have been like Haunting of Hill House.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah. I kept thinking about Succession the whole time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just these
Absolutely.
little comments that if you don't have the context are like, oh, it's a little cold today.
Yeah.
And then it's like inside of it's like, guys, like, we're panicking.
I also fully heisted Misha.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Oh my
was
God.
good.
What do you mean?
Okay, Bex set up this family tree outside of the estate that has this lore from Hawaii, that I don't know about. And I was like, oh, cool. And like Ibra's character is tied to trees because we're building your mechanics around hexblood stuff, which in Dungeons and Dragons, a hexblood is like a hag born where you have to like go back in tribute to a tree once a week. And we changed that to the doctor's
that
office.
Is delicious.
And I was like, I love trees. I want to throw this back in there just a little bit.
So you set up this tree that has this lore about rainstorms. And then we go inside and you set up Flo to do this coat check thing. And I was like, yeah, sure. Yes. And we'll make a funny bit out of this coat check thing. And then you get in there and you start stealthing about the coat and getting Hema alone. Yeah. And I just like at every point I was like, yeah, sure. We'll do funny bits. I'll do it. And by the end of it, I was like, oh, you planned an entire heist around who your family is and what they do in a specific scenario. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I'm gonna put myself on blast for a minute because I have no shame anymore. That was my first episode sober. So like I was so proud about how clear my brain was and how well I used it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I'm doing it.
Yes.
It was
locked in.
It was genius level, truly. It was incredible.
When Hema realized their past was like that little standoff in the garden or wherever that was, I was just like, oh my God, that was so good.
Yeah, so like you guys, Hema and Brahma also had like full scenes and character arcs through the episode. That was so cool. And you guys didn't have those characters before that day. It was incredible.
Like you two took these bare bones concepts of who my siblings could be and who they used to be with me, and you turned them on their heads and gave them full, like as Misha said, full arcs in that episode of like changing who they were at the beginning to who they were at the end for each other.
Well, the other thing too that I think about a lot with like family dynamics and stuff is like, because I can't remember if it was Bex you or Misha you, but it was like of the siblings, you're the one who's more enmeshed in the family and Hema's like more not, like, or like Hema's less invested. So I'm like, the family member who's most invested, I think there is like both this desire to maintain a status quo and also a resentment that the status quo exists at all.
Your scene with Reed, like I'm still getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
So talk about coming in and fulfilling an entire arc. Reed.
Reed was a powerhouse throughout that whole episode.
Can I drop some Reed lore on you real quick?
Yes.
So for Story Quest, the other show that I'm a part of,
which is good, and you should go watch it.
Watch it, please.
No free ads.
Yes,
free ads.
But
it's for
only for this
Mayana.
one.
Some free ads.
Story Quest, it's on YouTube. Check it out. But we had a last minute talent dropout. Reed had 3 days to create Vangry.
Whoa.
I called her on Tuesday and we shot Friday through Monday.
Wow.
And that character was born Tuesday night. And Reed came in and she knocked it out.
Yep.
And that is who she is. She's a ringer baby.
Yeah.
I love you so much, Reed.
Like, thank you for bringing Reed into our lives.
Hell yeah.
Just incredible. Like, so as soon as I think we started talking about Family Week, we were like, well, one of those would be a good time to have another guest because it works so well with Julian.
Absolutely.
And we really want to have more guests, and we're really excited about that. So I asked you, Mayana, because you're I might say slightly more connected to the world of Dungeons and Dragons media creation than the rest of us.
People.
You know some talented people. And as soon as we were like, maybe someone should play the mom that all of you are playing against, you were like, I got it. It's Reed. It's got to be Reed.
Yeah. So I've been playing with her. I've known Reed for like 5 or 6 years now. She blows my mind every single day with her wonderful, weird brain. And especially she has a home game that I'm in with like a homebrew setting that she created called the Mithril Spire, which is a giant tower made of mithril that's like 1,000 stories high. It goes up into the sky and then deep into the earth, and we all live inside it, and we don't we don't have natural light, or like it comes through the mithril. And she has this character in that homebrew game called the High Lady, who's sort of the head of our society. And I was like, I know exactly who's going to play this mom.
Reed, come in, play High Lady. It'll be perfect.
Yeah, I was like, hey, Reed, remember the High Lady? And she's like, all the time.
And we gave her a brief, when we decided that we were going to do this, that like Mayana and Ian were going to play the siblings and that we were going to have a guest to be the mom. I was like, okay, I have to write up briefs. I gave to you guys, slightly more like nuanced, gray moral kind of stuff so that you guys could make your own choices about what went on in the game because we didn't know what was going to happen. And when I was talking to Reed, I sort of gave her the brief, which I had cleared with Bex, but I gave it to her and Reed was like, oh, so she's kind of the villain, huh? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, and I was like, but I'm one of the characters' mom? I was like, yeah. And she goes, got it. Okay.
And she did. She got it.
She locks really in a way that I am inspired by on the daily.
Truly, like, I think it was like among the first of her lines were just like so immediately scathing, but like still delivered in such like a kind way where I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yep. She's so good at that.
Yeah, it was so beautifully unnerving. Where I was like, yeah, I think if I were raised in this family, I'd probably fold. Like,
100%. And I think like I found it so delicious the way she was describing the like this animal like shaking the bars of their enclosure, like wanting so badly to be back in the battlefield and having to like, have dinner instead. And imagine like living with that person who's just like hating every second of these. And I'm like, I don't want to be here either.
Yeah.
Why are you making me be here if you don't even want to be here right now?
Why are all of us here?
Yeah.
I hope we get to see her fight at some point in this.
Me too. I think we will.
Seeing her fight just in that moment with Brahma was just that was so much fun.
So we played a game. We played that game of debts.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so D&D does not have a great social mechanic other than like roll and persuasion if you're telling the truth and deception if you're lying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think this family in particular plays more games with sociality than that. So I was
100%.
looking up different systems. We played Urban Shadows 2nd edition with the numbers modified a little bit so that they match D&D stats. By Magpie Games. It's a good game. You should check it out.
Magpie Games slaps.
I want to play that game again in the future if we go back to like another family week. But I don't know if we can modify it. I want to add points to it because I liked playing it, but I wanted more like of a.
You just like points.
I do just like
Ian
points.
likes
But Ian's
points.
brain for games is really.
I wanted more of a reason to pull stuff,
Yes.
even like for no story. I mean,
Yes.
like because that game worked perfectly to tell that story.
Yes.
But I wonder if we have a scene somewhere in the future that's like in a city office. Doesn't have to be the family. It can be like a bunch of like city magistrates and the debts that you receive, like you get a point if you get someone to do the thing that you need, and then at the end there's a winner.
I've been like trying to noodle with this idea of like social HP, which is like I'm still working on the system, but it's like just this idea that it's like when you convince someone to do something, you are kind of working them down, or you are like you're breaking through a thing that they don't want you to break through, but somehow you still are, either through charm or like intimidation or whatever it is. It's like getting those points and like breaking through that wall to in Vampire the Requiem, it's like doors. And so characters with like higher resistance to being persuaded have like 10 doors of their mind you have to
Well, I
like
think
get
of
through.
Cyclops in Ace Attorney. In the investigation part of the game, part of what is included in that is if a character is hiding something, they have like different locks, like psychological locks that appear on them that you have to find new clues and like new like conversation.
like the story they're
stuff.
telling themselves.
Like you
and
have to be able to break those locks
Yeah.
in order for them to reveal the truth to you. And sometimes it's like, I'm really embarrassed about this, or I'm afraid this is going to hurt you, or this is like really shameful, or I want to tell you about this, but I need you to prove to me that
I can
you
trust
are
you or-
that you're deserving of this information.
Yeah.
And like, so that kind of capacity I think is a really fun thing to play with.
It'd be fun if we did a future bottle episode with 4 characters who were not us, and like, and then it was a game that you could get eliminated out of, like in the meeting, and then by the end, whoever win adjusts the game.
Oh, that's like the election, or like like different reps from the different parts of the
Oh yeah,
of the,
Guild reps.
the guild reps coming together, and
a
it's
guild
like
rep meeting.
Yes.
like somebody's gonna get investments or like
like
funding.
whatever Cecilia was doing.
Right. That'd be
Something
super
like that.
fun.
That could be cool.
And but like once you run out of HP, like you can no longer like put your point forward. Like you have to give up your
you're
point.
done.
Yeah.
It's like you're out of clout.
Yeah.
Interesting.
To get
You
your
have
point
no leg
over
to
the
stand
game.
on.
Yeah, and then you can go support someone else. Maybe we'll talk about
Listen, that's interesting.
That's
I mean,
terrifying to me. I love it.
we're here to make up games to make cool stories, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I was so scared of that game because I was like, I don't think I can use this game well enough to get what I need. I need to create a failsafe for
I'm
myself.
gonna heist it.
I need to create a heist to failsafe because I'm like, I need my backup.
That's amazing.
So good. You were really locked in, Bex, that day. Like,
Thank you.
like genuinely, like the moves you were making, the level of like sophistication and strategy that you brought to every interaction. It was very inspiring.
Thanks. Right back at you. Like, seriously, I love working with all of you so much. You guys bring me up to another level. I want to get to your level of skill and intellect, and I
already
feel
there,
like I'm
baby.
getting
You're
there.
You're already there, baby.
You're there.
It's an honor to play games with you.
Heck yeah.
The feeling is mutual.
Hey there, it's Misha. This is the rest stop. Come take a break beside the path with me, just until we catch our breath. We hope once again that you're enjoying the Detour. We sure love making them. You know, as the GM and showrunner, I can get very in my head about the story. How's the story going? Is it good? Is it impactful? Is it compelling? I forget sometimes that we also make this podcast so that we can be 5 friends hanging out on a mic while telling a cool story. And the Detours are a good reminder that the show isn't just the story, it's us, as we are. So thanks for indulging, and we invite you to come hang with us too. Drop us a line with the contact form at our website, leave us a review wherever you listen, DM us on your social media platform of choice. Should we be on Blue Sky? Let us know. Or if you've got a bit of money to spare for hardworking creatives this holiday season, help us out at patreon.com/wanderingpathpod. A big old December welcome to our newest patron, Judith T., as well as those patrons at Voyager level or above, JWX, Mubarak D, and Aubrey L. Your hearthfire is keeping us warm through the long, dark winter nights. This week, I want to talk about all of our sponsors. We've been so lucky to have the support of our sponsors as we got up and running this year. You've heard them before. Shaker and Spoon, Tab for a Cause, Volante Design, and United by Blue. The way all that works is that these subscriptions and services give us a code for our show. A code like Wandering Path, all one word, for example, which will get you discounts upon checkout at any of these fine places. And when you use that to buy something on their sites, they know you're there because we sent you. And that's what they want. So when you use our code for like a Shaker and Spoon box, or a Volante jacket, or a United by Blue order, that comes directly back to us, the people who make this podcast, and we can keep entertaining you. And also you get some honestly pretty dang good gifts for your friends and family. Our promotions are all in the show notes, and we truly thank our sponsors for their support this year, as well as yours. Check them out, buy some clothes, buy some gifts, use our code, help us out, win-win-win. Okay, that's it for now. Let's get back on the path, and back to the show.
Okay, I want to say my favorite part of episode 12 because it's not the part that anyone would expect. It's the part where we look through JJ's leftovers from dinner and the butter is actually full of butter.
Wait, what are we talking? What?
JJ brought home leftovers from family dinner at the Calderons, and we were going through it at the beginning of episode 12.
When you're planning the heist over dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And it's like, oh yeah, it's not going to be butter when you open. Oh yes, it is. It's butter. Put it in the fridge.
That is so funny.
There's such a thing in, like, this isn't just Filipino household. It's especially common in, like,
yep.
The cookie bin,
it's like the cookie tin.
Cuban household as well.
Country crocker, like that tub of butter.
Yeah, tub of butter is never butter.
It's never butter. It's always like spools of thread.
Which is why it was so funny that it was.
Yeah. Or like in my household is like a bunch of like an ice cream tub and be filled with soup.
That cookie tin was always filled with needles and threads.
It's always where people put their sewing kits.
Yes.
And like, so
I didn't know it actually had cookies ever.
We would regularly go to Costco, get those so that we could distribute the tins afterwards to people who needed them.
Totally.
Recently, I saw somebody online made a purse out of the cookie tin, and you unzip the top, and it is spools of thread on the
Incredible.
side.
Yes. Incredible. But yeah, no, that was a very common thing growing up. I was like, I don't know what's in this container.
Yeah.
Like, no
so
one
funny.
labels anything.
Never.
Which is now why in my life as an adult, now I label everything.
Oh, I love that, though.
The butter tub in my house was always grits.
Grits.
Mm-hmm.
At least those are like compatible,
food.
right?
They kind of go together.
Yeah, that is food.
They are food.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
They're both food.
They are food.
For everyone listening at home who doesn't recognize that voice, my favorite person on the planet, my Aunt Selden, is visiting from North Carolina this week.
Hi.
Just fly on the wall.
Yes.
We're so happy to have you here.
Very cool. Faces to voices.
Okay, let's talk about episode 12, The Heist.
The heist.
The heist.
The good old heist.
Oh my god.
It went perfectly. No notes.
Nothing happened.
Nothing
went wrong.
happened at all.
Nothing went wrong. Everything was fine.
What's my favorite part of that episode? The guard switch really is
That was great.
some of my favorite stuff.
I was so thrilled with that. I was like, I don't know how this is going to work, but I have to at least try.
Yeah.
And when you pitched it initially at the end of the episode, I remember looking at Misha's face and them being like, "What are you doing? Like, there's no way you're crawling on the ceiling over this guard without them seeing. Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
And yet the dice told a story.
Yeah.
The dice said maybe not on the ceiling, but you'll find a way.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's so funny because, like, I don't think any of your characters have planned heists before.
No, why would we? We are minimum wage workers.
And immediately you were like, let's break into the highest government office in the entire city.
But any other heist we do, cakewalk, baby.
But also, we didn't research any of the security measures before going into the.
How would we have done that?
Well, that was one of my favorite moments, both like as a player and as JJ, where I remember at one point JJ going, "We have all these other things we could do. Why are we breaking into the governor's office? Can we think this through?"
I gave you a full list of quests
I remember.
twice.
I remember.
And we ignored all of them.
I think it was
Straight to the governor.
Well, one, we were like, for weeks we were getting passes, so I'm like, well, we have the passes, and we were on a time crunch with Cecilia, so I'm like, we got to do this now.
Yeah, between Cecilia and Hema, like somebody's gonna come back for their pass.
Yeah, so that the time crunch was intense on that, and then also I think like because of the revelations we had and just the way that tensions are starting to go, I think like I don't know, it made sense at the time. I do remember that when you asked that, it's like me in the middle of like making a sandwich and being like, why are we doing this?
But I think, no, you're right. It did add up. Like
it made sense at the time.
We found a lot of information, I think, sooner than all of production expected.
Yeah.
The reveal with Paz's family, like some of the dots that we were able to connect, like we kind of accelerated some of that. So as characters, we're like, we have to act on this really urgent. And it was delivered as urgent. Is like there's a conspiracy afoot.
Yeah, there was a conspiracy.
It probably goes all the way up to the top. Let's skip the middleman.
It probably does go all the way up to the top.
Literally.
It does.
Literally.
I did very much feel like outside of game, we all wanted to do the quests and be good students. And in game, we were like, this train is rolling.
It's truly like I gave you like a bunch of side quests to like get your experience up, and you're like pressing the story button. Like, let's do the main quest first.
Yeah, skip cutscene, skip cutscene, skip cutscene.
So do we get to do those side quests, or are they off the table?
No, they're still there. They're absolutely still there.
It's time to slow down a little bit and go do the quest.
Maybe perhaps.
Because if we go into the hole,
no, we can't. We're not strong enough yet. We're not strong enough.
Maybe some like training.
Training.
Ibra did talk about like doing a training, like you called it doing a training montage. I think it will be a fun session where like we do a pseudo combat.
I love it.
Maybe we get past some skills. Maybe we take Fran to the firing range.
Yes, please. Somebody has
just been thinking about it. It was like, oh god, this kid like
a training episode with like a little bit of light PvP. I'm so down.
I have a knife. I can. Maybe I just get good at knives.
This did occur to me. Two things regarding BG, because I think BG is going to come with us at some point.
Oh my god, yes.
There's two things. One, I think BG needs some sort of light dog armor, potentially. We'll get there. And then also, we have to train BG, I think, a little bit. And considering size, I wonder if you train BG.
We determined quite early on that BG was a mastiff.
Yeah, Mastiff is actually
a mount in Dungeons and Dragons that could be dwarves can ride.
And you're small enough.
I'm a half dwarf, so I don't think we settled on whether or not that would work.
That would be so cute, though.
I think in theory, possibly.
I have a piece of spool that I still haven't attached to anything. I need to refine it. I haven't had time to refine it, but
you do have mechanics for enchanting armor.
I do have mechanics for enchanting armor, and I literally have the eggplant memory. So I have that the eggplant dinner memory that I haven't used yet. So
are we like padding out our party too much, like with Paz and then a dog mount?
So a lot of people might say yes. I'm here to say do whatever you want.
Okay.
Lynn and I, in our home game, like I'm fully running 3 NPCs alongside the party at any one given time.
Okay, great. What else stands out to people about 12, the heist?
Yeah, I mean, it was so chaotic, but like here's the thing. I was going to let you in there because what you guys didn't know going in was that someone else was heisting at the same time.
Oh, and that was so stressful.
Yeah, that was bananas.
So stressful.
When you were like, there's a security guard unconscious,
already down.
I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like it was that moment where I was like, the trap has been laid. Like, even though I knew that something was going to happen there, like, even with all the stuff that I had, like, you know, JJ prepared a bunch of spells that were specifically heist related. Out of character, I was like, obviously combat is going to happen at some point, but I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah.
And then so when that was the moment, I was like, yeah, that's why it was so easy. Because someone already did it for us. Because I remember when JJ was like, this place is going to be like crawling with guards. Like, there's going to be a ton of security measures. It's the governor's office. It's the seat of like a bunch of government work. Where I was like, there was a moment where I was like, oh, maybe Misha scaled this encounter down because we're level 3.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what I did. I did scale down to you because you were level 3. And then I thought, why is it so easy?
Exactly. The method in which you did that.
It has to be easy but why?
Yeah.
That's so delicious as a GM and a storyteller that you gave a narrative justification. For
Thank you. So I figured, I was like, okay, well, maybe someone else did it for them. And I was like, who could it be? We never figured out who's on the bridge.
I know. I was going to ask you. It's the same person, isn't it?
Yeah.
The hot guy? The hot guy?
Yeah.
I'm so excited to talk to the hot
I was
guy.
trying to like describe the silhouette in the same way. Yeah, it's the same guy as the bridge. And I didn't know you guys were going to catch him and take him hostage.
And now?
Which I
fucked your shit.
When I asked if anyone's remember anything that stood out, I'm fishing for the compliment for the greatest thing I will ever do, picking a potion of climbing 2 episodes before.
Oh,
Look at Misha's face. Misha's so frustrated.
Yes.
No, I'm not. It was incredible.
Yes.
I love it. Like,
Yes.
honestly, so here's my thing. I've known who that character was for a little while, and I was planning on introducing them in a different way.
Right, because I marked them with my initial bomb, and you were like, that was good, that'll come up later, I bet.
What?
And then I just shut that whole plan down with my potion of climbing.
So I have changed my plans about that. I have changed like what the reveal is now, because you better believe I'm going to punch you with story right in the face.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You're not going to stop me.
I want you to.
We're not going to stop you. We're just going to change what you're going to do to us.
Yes, so now I'm going to do something different.
Wow.
I low-key I want Fran so badly to flirt with this hot guy.
Yeah.
The minute you described him, I was like, oh no.
And you know what I was really... So when we did that, I was rewatching The Expanse, and I was right up to the point where this guy, Marco Inaros, who is like a terrorist in the show, but is also described as having like a really sweet face, and then they cast him with like this gorgeous man.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking about. I was like, oh yeah, a guy who's really fucking shit up and you're supposed to hate him, but also he's gorgeous.
Yeah, so
gorgeous
Fran's
man.
about to be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I will say of the heist too, I love that we succeeded but also failed.
100%.
Oh,
100%.
entirely.
Because did we even make it into the? We did, right?
Yeah.
We did.
We technically made it
yeah.
into the governor's office.
We
but
had to pick like one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you fully took the
computer.
governor's hard drive. So
And then we also got your family's book.
Yes.
Yo.
So that's the other thing. Like you failed but succeeded because like, you know, I feel like in an ideal heist, you want to access the information on the computer, get it, put it in your brain, and leave. And now, like, the governor's hard drive's fully missing.
Yeah, there's consequences to
Yeah.
this. There's one more thing about the man, rest in peace, all those guards. That
I
was
know.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only
That was bad.
one went down fully.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do
But
think
the rest of them are going to
though,
have survivor's
There's going to
guilt.
be some severe
Consequences.
like Fran and JJ are coasting through right now.
Well,
but
I
we are
got downed
not.
fully.
You
So
got
I
down
saw
fully.
the vision of the end time place.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the first time in the campaign where we've had somebody go down and it came back around to their turn, and like, you know, I was gonna bring back that dream.
Yeah.
I was sitting on it. I was like waiting for one of you to go down. I was like, who's gonna get it?
Yeah,
JJ brought
of
me up
course
too
it was
fast.
me.
That's the thing. That when in the mech fight, I was gonna give it to Ibra, and then JJ like had the next turn and brought you immediately back up, and I couldn't get a word in
That's
about
fair.
it.
That's fair.
I do think if it had come back around to you, I would have done like that vision, that dream. You're not done with it yet.
Of course
No,
not.
Of course not. It's weird that it has only come up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5
To be
days
fair,
later.
it's only been 5 days, so maybe it's perfectly on time.
And that knight reappeared in combat to
Yes.
Loved that.
That was really
That
cool.
was interesting.
Yes.
I loved that. I'm
Yes.
so excited to explore, like, because that's a flavor for my warden. I was going to say oath, but that's a paladin. My warden's extra level.
Hold on. That's the people who support us. I want to look in the book and see what they're really called.
My headcanon for the night is Al from Full Metal Alchemist.
Ooh.
But like with
delicious.
the helmet removed and like a handsome blonde.
So a little bit more like Laios from Dungeon Meshi.
There it is.
Oh,
See,
fuck, you're right.
See, I'm
kill
imagining
me.
the wisps as like purple, and so it's got like a little bit of a Kurogiri vibe from my hero.
My headcanon is it's one of like, do you know that the theory in Twilight Princess that all the skeletal training guys that Link meets throughout the game are old Links from
Yes.
the other
Oh, yeah.
timelines? So that's it's like Ibra from another world.
Oh, I love
I
that.
hilariously have been imagining Shovel Knight the whole time.
I love
Honestly,
Shovel Knight
maybe
so
that's
much.
it. Maybe that's the one.
Can we change the aesthetic of the entire show to be Shovel Knight pixel art real quick? Somebody do pixel art portraits of the characters and send them to us.
It's very Final
WanderingPathPodcast@gmail.com.
I will cry.
Also, they're called Warden's Champions Calls.
Oh, Champion's Call. Thank you. Okay, so this is a flavor for my Warden's Champion's Call, which is Soul Blood Shaman.
Yeah, it's like where the spirits of the past guide you in your quest to protect people.
Yes, please.
And as soon as we looked that up in the book, we were both like, oh, you mean like the fucking dream and all that stuff that was happening?
With all
and
the armor that was
weird stuff?
What if it's just us? Oh my god, what if each time you see him, it's just one of us?
Oh, that'd be
From the dream, because we're in the armor. That Misha's face!
And it's so good. And it's like, especially because like back when it first happens, it's absolutely fucking terrifying because it doesn't look like it's helping us. And then in this battle, this heist battle, it's explicitly helping. And so it's like,
good.
okay, this is something I now want to explore, not run away from.
Heck yes.
I guess like my question with that, is it that a narrative justification for like attaining that subclass of like, oh, you've earned the allyship of this knight, or was it this knight has been guiding you this whole time? Or is that spoilers and we'll get into it eventually?
I mean, it's definitely spoilers and we'll definitely get into it eventually.
Nice.
I'll also say like, because originally we wanted to have narrative justifications for levels, but the justification has sometimes come not synchronously with you guys needing the mechanics in combat where we're doing it. So like, I think it's interesting that like, Ibra, you're level 3, but you don't know the answer to that. Like,
no idea.
Like, I think, obviously like Fuller giving you tags, but you also you also did a tag on an item before we got there.
Right,
so like,
right.
And that helped you gain Fuller's favor.
Yes.
So the way those things come in not quite at the same time is fun.
But you tied it in so nicely with that it works with intention. That even though Fran was maybe not aware of it when she did the sighted thing, that it's like there was an intention to assist in some way.
That is a big feature of this magic system that we're playing with for me. Is that like one of the things I think I wrote down really was that like magic is thought made real. That Fuller said that. I gave that line to Julian.
Yes.
Like that was one of the first things I wrote down about this world. Is that like that, like, what is magic but the thing you want to happening outside of the laws of physics?
Magic's so sick. Can we just talk about how sick magic is for a second?
Love it.
I love it so much.
Magic is amazing. And especially our version of magic.
Yeah, and I think that that's leading us in an interesting direction because, just like Fuller said, and again, Julian, beautiful. Like because magic also exists as a physical object you can carry somewhere else, it's not necessarily your intention.
No.
It's somebody like you can hold someone else's intention in your hand and take it away and do something else with it. Yeah.
Wild.
So that's been fun to play with, and that's really like where I'm exploring in the world building of it as you guys stroll through.
Yeah.
It's so juicy.
It is really juicy.
It's so juicy and delectable and delicious.
And you guys are still only just at the very beginning.
Did we level up yet?
Yes,
do we level up?
I think the fight in the governor's office absolutely it's gonna level you up.
Heck yes.
We're gonna go up to level 5.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We're gonna skip 4 and go to 5.
Because we've done a lot of things.
Because you've done a lot of things, because I don't want to wait. Truly, because I've been running games for a long time. Our home game, Lynn, Lynn joined pretty late in the game. I've been running that game for 6 years.
Wow.
They're level 15.
Oh my god.
So
we just leveled up.
Yeah,
I didn't do that to my character sheet. Whoops.
So I'm just impatient. I don't want the story to go for so long, and you guys I want you guys to have cool new stuff.
I want stuff.
Doing.
I
And we want to get to the mines.
I want we're not going to
we
survive.
gotta go to the mines.
And we talked about this a little bit, not on mic, but it's one of those things, especially when you're developing a show, level 4 for people is you get an ability score increase or a feat for most subclasses. It's not narratively that interesting.
Right. I already have 2 feet.
I hate you.
That's a party point, but I resent it.
That's a
party
resentful
point.
party point. But as far as developing a show and stuff, character subclass stuff really kicks in at the odd levels usually. So in order to have something mechanically materially that is available for us to utilize, as opposed to being I got slightly smarter and more charismatic, where it's that doesn't necessarily have any tangible effect on.
And I am very torn because Mage Hand Press and Valda's Spire of Secrets, they gave auxiliary levels.
Oh yeah, that stuff is really
those
cool.
are also options. You could just go up to level 4 and take those increases and then take an auxiliary level as well.
Or you can multi-class.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, like, it's multi-classing into a thing that only has one level, and you just, like, get a little bit of spice.
That's kind of fun. It's because there's a feat like that, too, where it's like you can be an adept at, like, one extra little cleric thing. Or
it's kind of like taking a dip in another class without having to fully commit to multi-classing.
That's kind of fun.
And there's also, like, the captain, which is something that I might want to explore, is, like, multi-classing with captain.
Getting
like,
promoted.
I don't know.
I can't stop thinking about Fifth Element right now.
Oh?
Multi-class.
Oh.
Ibra Shinmar multi-class.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to level up. I'm so stoked.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked.
We love a cleric.
Go on. I mean, come into new power.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that won't happen till the new year for the listeners, right?
Yeah, that's so true. This
new
is
year, new
stuff.
this is our thing. This is actually our last. This is going to be our last episode in 2024.
Oh my god! How was it, everybody? How was it?
So yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break through the rest of December to have some holiday times, and we'll be back in January after this one. But before we go, let's answer some listener questions.
Question
Thank you for
corner.
listening.
Yeah. A lot of them that came in this time around was like, what's your character's favorite snacks? Who do you think you are in a format, like a quartet?
This is my jam right here.
So,
Let's go.
So
this is my shit.
Let's start out with a little bit of rapid fire. I'm going to start out with this lovely list of them from JWX, our Voyager level patron.
Yeah, JWX.
Thanks so much, JWX. We love you.
No, but really, seriously, thank you.
Thank you.
For serious. So we start off with Ninja Turtles, Misha being Master Splinter.
Oh, yes.
Already so good.
Yes.
I want to be Donatello.
Donatello does machines. That's Fran.
You're
Donatello.
You're Leonardo, or maybe you're Raphael.
Also,
you're Raphael.
I'm Raphael.
Donatello,
purple Fran.
Purple Fran.
Yes.
Yay.
And the fixer of things.
Yes.
So wait, Leonardo's the blue one, though.
So that leads Leonardo.
Leonardo's
and
the leader.
Raphael, the food one.
No,
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo, you were definitely Michelangelo.
I'm Pizza Turtle.
Pizza Turtle. I think JJ is Leonardo.
That pisses me off.
I think
I'm so sorry.
I'm Raphael,
but I love Leonardo.
I also love Leonardo, but it doesn't piss me off. I think it pisses JJ off.
Yeah.
And Ibra is Raphael.
You're a quieter, you're a more
Let me
contemplative
fight.
Leonardo.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have roles in a barbershop quartet.
Oh, man. Misha being the tuning.
The pitch pipe.
Misha's the pitch pipe.
I've never been read more accurately in my life.
So it's what tone are you?
So this one, I actually feel pretty strongly about it. You might think that, like, as the most femme of the group, that Fran would be soprano.
No
I'm going to
way.
pitch. It's absolutely Gordon.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
It's Gordon.
No question.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes.
Which I think makes Fran the alto.
I think I'm definitely the alto, which was also my part in all of show choir all through middle school.
This feels so correct.
When we did
Stop. You were in show choir? Have we talked about this?
No.
I was in show choir.
I was in show choir.
Okay, cool. We'll talk about that off mic.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Incredible.
Oh my
Why
God.
are you surprised?
Because I thought I was the only one on the planet.
Oh, buddy.
No, I was in show choir. And I was the only one who could hit like a low G in middle school.
Yes.
So when we would do Need a Little Christmas, I was like, fill up the stocking. It was bad. It was really bad.
Incredible.
So would JJ be baritone? Or
I think Ibra's got hero protagonist energy. I feel like that's the baritone.
I think you're
Okay.
right.
And that JJ's holding it down.
Yeah, the bass is like so important because it keeps the tempo.
Exactly.
And keeps the pace.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sex and the City characters, Misha being New York.
Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wait, what's this first
They wrote
name?
that.
That's a party point for JWX, our Voyager level patron.
Our
That
first
is
patron
Misha
party point.
being New York. Oh my god!
I love
Okay,
that.
so we've got I love Sex and the City, Samantha, Miranda, Carrie, and Charlotte.
I don't know these.
I only know memes and I don't know the veracity.
Okay, are you ready?
of it.
Are you ready? Okay, here they are.
Tell me,
Okay,
tell
so
me, tell me.
Carrie is the, like protagonist.
Yeah.
So she's the Leonardo. She's kind of a mix of all three other ones. There's a theory that actually the rest of the women in the show are different aspects of Carrie's subconscious.
They don't
Sure,
exist?
just like the other Rugrats are in Angelica's head. For sure.
Exactly,
100%,
exactly.
yeah, exactly.
No, that's not true, but I think it's fun.
None of them are true.
And also, they represent the three hairs: blonde, red, and brown. And Carrie's the fourth one, curly. So Carrie's, you're like the leader, and then Samantha's the flirty one and the sexy one. Miranda's the like go-getter, ambitious one, and Charlotte's the more traditional, romantic pick one.
So JJ's Miranda, right?
JJ?
That's the go-getter ambitious?
Yeah.
JJ is
Or was.
Miranda.
Was.
JJ's
former Miranda.
former Miranda now?
And she's in her Carrie.
And also she's got a will they, won't they?
Yeah.
It's Carrie.
Yeah, that feels right.
It's been going on for years and there's no movement.
Samara's moving to Paris.
I would say Gordon's the Miranda because Gordon has 3 jobs.
Oh, yeah.
That's so
Gordon
true.
is the Miranda. Gordon
Yeah.
is the Miranda.
You're right.
Yeah.
So we have Charlotte, the brunette, and then Samantha, the vivacious one.
You're vivacious.
Yeah, you're the vivacious.
Fran is vivacious.
I think, okay, Fran is Samantha, but like only in just vibes, not in like anything that happens
Well,
in
we'll see
Samantha's
what happens with
messiness.
this. We'll see what happens with this
Honestly,
hostage guy.
Fran might be about to be in her Samantha era. And Charlotte for Ibra kind of makes sense because the journey that Charlotte goes on is sort of like this evolution from traditionalist to sort of like free and
Or like finding the independence.
finding independence, but
Oh, I
also
love.
like taking all the things she thought she was supposed to want and all of the expectations placed upon her by society, and then every single one of those being subverted and her being 100% happier
Oh, I
with
love
the
that.
outcome.
That feels right. That
Yeah.
does feel true.
That
I love
Libra.
Sex in the City. I will talk to anybody about it.
Thank you. I only want to hear about it from your
All
point
right,
of
we're
view.
going to start a watch party.
Honestly,
Let's do
okay,
it.
if you want to watch it and I will tell you what I interpret every episode as
Yes.
we go, I will happily do
please.
that.
I love your brain. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
We're here pitching an entirely different podcast.
Honestly,
I'm not against
New
it.
podcast.
Honestly,
New
I'm
in 2025, new podcast. Let's
Yes.
Kind of into
Sex
it.
in the City, this time Misha's New York. That's the
go. There's a part of me that wanted to give JWX the party crown for that. That was
honestly,
so funny.
Misha
it.
being New York,
Honestly.
that honestly,
Yeah.
I think JWX has the party crown right
Yeah.
now.
currently, yes.
Misha
Yeah.
is New York.
We love you,
Yes.
JW.
That
That
was-
was one of the best things I ever read, honestly.
It's so funny.
New
Next
York.
quartet.
This next one is not from JWX's list. This is actually from friend of the show and Lynn's partner, Kristen. But I feel like it kind of goes along with this, which is what is all of your characters' favorite snack food?
Ooh, snack food.
I'm sorry, we do have to start with Gordon.
yes.
That's true.
The first thing that popped into my head is garlic rolls, but I don't know if that's the canon answer. I think I just have a special penchant for garlic
Yeah.
rolls. Okay, what is Gordon's favorite snack food? Calzones. Because it's like a pizza, but it's a pizza that you can, you
Portable.
can make portable and take with you in your muffin bandolier.
On the go.
Yeah.
I think I have Ibras,
Okay.
and I think it's those protein things that are like 20 grams of protein, and they look like Pop-Tarts, but they're absolutely just protein.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
What flavor?
Strawberry.
Okay, yeah.
Like an RX bar type thing.
Yeah, but it's like, it looks like a
sponsored.
Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
It's like it's got icing on it, but the icing is also just made of protein.
With the magic of Astra, you can make anything look like anything.
That
That
is-
was in the propaganda.
That was in the OG propaganda.
And then people thought really hard about that and like make anything look like anything, and then they had to nix that slogan very quickly.
So funny.
This might just be me taking things too literally.
Sure.
I was like, okay, what constitutes a snack food? Is it like an easy thing that like you get at the store as is and you eat while watching TV or on your computer? Like, is it your easy food, or is it like a snack that you really like, as in a food that is not a meal? And I have 2 different answers for that. So for a convenience food, similar to Gordon, but with the sensibilities of Lynn, just like the equivalent of a Hot Pocket. Just like it is microwave,
Mini calzone.
like just a worse but beautiful version of a calzone.
What about Fran?
I think unfortunately this is just because it's me. It's Chester's hot Cheeto fries, not hot Cheeto, like not the puffy ones.
Yeah.
The straight
Yes.
skinny $1.99 bag from the gas station.
Yeah, those are so good.
Chester's hot Cheeto fries.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Pretty
so
solid.
tracks.
Yeah.
Eating with chopsticks so you don't get the dust on your fingers.
Yes.
I was
Genius
gonna
move.
say that, like, I imagine Fran working late with the desk lamp,
Yes.
and there's like one hand towel on the corner of the desk where you just like reach in,
Yes.
grab one, dust off, and back to work.
Exactly. Exactly.
I love the chopsticks trick. It's my
Yeah,
favorite.
it's so great, and I use it now all the time because I hate getting dust on my fingers.
I think I'm really just going to double back because what you're talking about meals versus snacks, I think
Yeah.
is very valuable. And I think calzone would be more of a meal.
That's a more like side meal.
Yeah, so now I'm thinking like little masubis,
Oh,
the little
yeah.
the little rice.
Oh, yeah.
Triangle rice.
Onigiri.
Onigiri.
Onigiri. Sorry.
Onigiri.
There's another question from one of our patrons that also kind of fits in here. This is from our patron, Aubrey Lynn. Thank you, Aubrey. Woo. Aubrey says, thank you all for making an amazing show that I love and for creating a show that got my friend into actual plays after me trying for 4 years.
No way. I'm going to cry.
I have 2 questions, if that's okay. 1, Misha, is it okay if I run a one-shot in your world? I think it's amazing. Would love to try if you're comfortable with it.
No way.
Absolutely. That's so nice. Thank you, Aubrey. Please feel free to run whatever one-shots you feel like in my world. That's such an honor. I'll just say this briefly. I don't know if you know what's happening in this world. I don't know if my players know what's happening. There's still a lot of stuff unrevealed. So, like, go for it with the caveat that, like, do you even know what this world is yet?
Hey, we know a lot about the supporting information about New Prosper.
We know, like, the city
very
layout.
easily run a bakery one shot.
Yeah.
You know.
The Astra itself is so juicy. It's just like the ability to have those crystals of magic. Yeah.
I think
Aubrey,
that's the thing is like Aubrey can run a one shot as long as it doesn't rely on the core things in the universe that we don't yet know.
Yeah, because we don't even know those
but
yet.
if you use the buses.
The Capras,
City.
Aubrey,
Bursar's office.
I am honored and thrilled. Please let us know how that goes.
Yes, please.
Part 2 of Aubrey's question. Number 2, if your characters were in modern day, what would their favorite movie be? I want to have a Wandering Path movie night.
Oh my
God. Ooh, that's a gauntlet of movies.
Yeah, so what are your characters' favorite movies?
I think Fran's favorite movie, if she was in our world, would be The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
1,000,000%.
No question.
Yeah.
Okay, excluding all Miyazaki properties because obviously.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's keep the Meryl Streep going, and it'll be Julie and Julia.
Yeah! Wandering Path movie night or Meryl Streep movie night?
Damn, now I have to think of a Meryl
No.
Streep.
No, please pick whatever movie you think Ibra would love.
I think Ibra's favorite movie is Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
That's so much.
Yeah.
And surprise, JJ's is Fast and the Furious.
Honestly, I think JJ would love a lot of action movies.
Like a popcorn film, mindless.
Yeah,
like I'm so stressed all the time.
Yeah, you forget. JJ smokes cigarettes. JJ's a badass.
Yeah.
JJ skateboards.
Skateboards, right? I forgot.
and does all of these things not liking any of it.
So to watch other people do them would be great.
Yeah, exactly. I think JJ's favorite movie is probably Gremlins.
Yes.
I think
Because there's so many rules about how they function.
there's so many rules about them. It like stresses them out, but they're like, I think in the same way. This is the me insert into JJ, but I'm like, no, I think this
The
is
only
tracks.
one.
Oh, shut up. We're not talking about that. But like, Gremlins is my favorite Christmas movie, and I was like, what a weird, horrible choice. And I'm like,
excellent choice.
No, it's great.
yes, and the Christmas parts of the movie, horrible.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah.
There are dark parts of that about that.
Yeah.
And I think that would be one of those things where, again, like in the same vein of people are like, oh, weird. Wait, what? Why are you like that? And Dana's like, I don't know.
JJ, low key, a little bit gremlin.
Yeah.
Very.
Little bit gremlin energy.
Almost
just a
high
smidge.
key.
Yes.
Almost high key. There's like the gremlin inside. That's this one that
Yes.
smokes cigarettes and does skateboards.
Yeah. That's if you spill water on me,
Feed you after
feed
midnight.
me after midnight. That's why JJ keeps such a strict schedule. It's actually to avoid all of that. Imagine if that was the actual
JJ's
underlying plot
aware
of
gremlin.
this.
Aware Lynn.
See, when we were talking about skateboarding, I thought your favorite movie was going to be Brink.
Brink.
Oh, Brink is good.
Team Pup and Suds.
Honestly, Brink is a good one too.
I think if you really question JJ, though, they'd probably actually say, like, Bring It On.
Oh yeah.
Gay.
Yeah.
Bring It On is the tip of the iceberg answer, and then
Yeah.
the deeper iceberg answer is Gremlins.
Yeah.
I have one other thing, just because we have a dog in the party. Which member of the Scooby-Doo Mystery Gang?
I know, we were.
Oh, did we talk about this?
We talked about
We need
this
to do it on mic
separately.
now.
We have to
Yeah.
do it on mic.
So this is the first one that we actually did that we talked about off mic and just seems so
Right.
obvious to
Well,
us in the moment.
I was
Are you ready for
screaming
this?
about it. I was like, I can't believe that we accidentally did this. We straight up just made Mystery Incorporated.
we did.
Yeah.
we did.
So
I need to make sure Eber wears an ascot at some point.
You're wearing
Yeah.
a
So
scarf
it's
right now.
maybe a little bit.
canonically.
So we came down on like the very obvious conclusion Erin. Ibra is Fred. Fran is Daphne because she loves purple.
Yes.
BG is Scooby, which makes Gordon Shaggy.
Of course.
And
JJ
is Velma.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
So accurate.
It's literally perfect.
And as we all realize this, I think the level of sheer devastation we all experience is like, it's so obvious. How did we end up here? How did we not notice?
Because like we didn't consult each other
No.
at all ahead of character
And of
creation.
all of the vibes that we created, this was not one of them.
No.
So I was like, it was a car crash of an epiphany.
Yes.
It was. And I think
that
it was
we had.
after Ian made BG Bites.
Yeah.
And we were like, BG Bites are like Scooby. No, God.
Is the vibes list public anywhere? Because we should post it on the IG. if
Oh,
you have it.
I have them written down.
Oh my God,
so
let's
I
post
can.
the vibes
Yeah.
list.
Yes, please.
I'll make a mood board out of. Well, some
I-
of it has. I made mood. Okay,
I love
that's a
mood
separate
boards
thing.
so much. If you need assistance on the mood board, I
Do you
will
want to
have.
just make mood boards and
Yes.
watch Sex in the City together?
Yes! That's all I want.
Another question we got was how much of your character is based on you and how much is based on something fun you wanted to play?
Yes.
I wanted to play someone competent because I always
Oh.
I always play the joke. I always play the little shit ass character that's just there for fun and for vibes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like challenge myself and play competency.
Yeah. And you're
So-
nailing that, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I have a confession to make. Fran is the most me I've ever been of any character I've ever played in anything. And I don't know. I don't think that was my intention going in, but I think that I was a hostess. I worked at a coffee shop. I worked at a movie theater sweeping popcorn. I had dustpan awkwardness. I wore a lot of uniforms. I was really big on quick changes. I would purposefully schedule between my morning coffee shift and my evening movie theater shift a hair salon appointment in the middle so that I would have nice hair
Wow.
for my movie theater shift. With
Amazing.
my meager wages, I would save up and go to Dry Bar because I was like, I don't have time to do my own
Incredible.
hair.
Amazing.
I would eat $2 chicken nuggets from the movie theater because I didn't have enough money to buy other food. So I'm living Fran and like her tendency to latch herself on to other people's goals and accomplishments is very me. Her desire to try and improve and optimize every single process in her life, regardless of if it burns her out or not, is also very me. I've been having a lot of just transition in my personal life this year. And so I think like weirdly, I don't know if it's that Fran needed me to ask these questions of myself or I created Fran so that I could have a conduit in which to explore those questions which were already existing in me at that point in my life. But yeah, for better or for worse, Fran is mostly me. So if you identify with Fran, you identify with Mayana Baron.
And honestly, I am obsessed with both Fran and
Yeah,
Anna Baron, and it feels right.
Like, legitimately, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing so much of yourself with us. It is
really
amazing.
beautiful.
You guys
Really
have been so
wonderful.
kind to her, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm the same but different. Gordon is mostly me. I mean, Gordon, it was the template of Tombo, which we all know from the beginning. But I love to cook. I love to solve little puzzles and mysteries. So I just took all the. I did not ask any personal probing questions of myself for Gordon. Gordon's like the vacation of all the light
hell
parts
yeah.
of me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's vacation. Ian.
Yeah, Gordon is vacation. You
Is
just
vacation
make
Ian
it
being put into severely dire.
world
Vacation
ending,
Ian being traumatized.
making bombs.
Yes.
It's me on a vacation, baby.
JJ, a lot of me is in JJ. JJ is kind of like a slightly alternate universe version of me that listened to what my parents wanted from me for longer than I did. Like for myself, pretty early on, I wasn't independent enough to realize that like we are not like of the same mind, of like the same mindset, of the same expectation. And that was something that I grew up knowing and reckoning with very early in my life. And like still having to play the negotiation of like, I'm not like no contact with my parents. We have like a decent relationship, but like, so this alternate universe version kind of myself is like, oh, what happened if I didn't know that about myself or if I didn't listen? And also like if I had siblings or like if I had a different family. So like there are parts that are very true of like the family backstory that I had is like, yeah, my parents were working all the time. My grandmother lived with us for a bit. My aunt lived with us for a bit. So like all of that was very much pulled from personal experience, but it's also like all of that was like a little bit to the left. Like really pulling inspiration from some of these people and lived experiences that was like, what if it went slightly differently? Like how would I have been at that point. And so that's been kind of fun to play with. Like in the same way of like using this as a conduit to ask questions about myself, I'm like, oh, I'm like really grateful for my life as it is now of like, oh, I feel like these were the right choices for myself that maybe I didn't realize I was questioning of like, do I regret any of those decisions I made? And then like using this and being like, it would have been a good life either way, but like the life that JJ has right now is not necessarily the one that I would want for myself. And that's like a cool place of recognition to be able to see that from.
Well,
I like that.
Yeah.
You're so insightful.
Thank you. I've done a lot of therapy.
Yeah,
Therapy's great, not sponsored.
I've done so much.
so much therapy. And
So
I
much
think
therapy.
like I view so much Dungeons and Dragons as therapy that
So
like
much.
I had to throw in some of my real life, some of my lived experience and like turn it on its head and make it like the most extreme that it could possibly be and like turn good parts of my life into villainous parts of my life and put it into this story, you know, for the same sort of reckoning of like, where am I now? Where could I have been? And where do I want to be? Where do I not want to be?
It's like an interesting part of performance too, of like, it is both a performance for the story and like this game that we're playing and is very fun, but at the same time, like can lead to points of reflection that I think also like add to the story. Like as we put various parts of ourselves, even if they're remixed, like that we get to see that remix happen in
different
like
setting.
concert and in concert with each other, which is really cool.
Yeah.
that's cool.
And I think props to Misha because I think that you've done such a wonderful job as a storyteller of like challenging the characters and helping them develop into like these level up versions of themselves, which is what every wonderful great storyteller should do, but I don't think they necessarily always do.
Yeah.
So appreciate that you have, I think, created a wonderful space and world where the things that we're encountering are challenging our like preconceived notions.
You've
about who these
developed a
people
lot
are.
of really cool obstacles for us to figure out how we want to navigate.
Yeah.
Best jam in podcasting.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm just trying to present interesting obstacles that lead to compelling decisions. And me myself, you know, I've been a concrete building since I was a child. So there's a lot of me in the city.
How's it feel to be New York City?
That's a point for me.
Thank you very much.
It's a gift that just keeps on giving.
Yes.
Joint custody with JWX, our patron.
Yes.
I think that's going to about do it for this episode of The Detour. Thank you guys so much for joining us, not only for this episode, but for all the episodes in 2024. Like it's been, making the show, getting the show on its feet, hanging out with y'all every couple weeks. Like it's been a true highlight of the year.
Yeah.
So
likewise.
Same.
thank you so much. This is going to be our last episode in 2024. We're going to take a little bit of a holiday break at the end of December to like be people and hang out with our families. We'll be back.
Chill.
Yeah, we get to chill a little bit. But please keep sending in questions and what have you. Our email inbox is open, wanderingpathpodcast@gmail.com, or you can submit questions through our website.
You can also just ask questions in the comments on the Instagram.
Yes.
We'll consolidate.
Yes.
That's true.
If you haven't been to the Instagram yet, it is a meme repository.
Bex, we've fully just given Bex the Instagram. We're like, your mandate? Just make memes. Just do it.
It's only
And
memes.
Honestly, it's worked out really well so far.
It's been fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. So hit us up. Come chat with us. We love to hear from you. But for now, we're going to head out, and we'll see y'all in 2025.
Wow.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
The Wandering Path was created by me, Misha Stanton, and produced by Bex Taylor-Klaus, Lynn Rafil, and me. This story was game mastered and sound designed by me, Misha Stanton, and was played and performed by Bex Taylor-Klaus, Lynn Rafil, Ian McEwen, and Mayana Barron. Cover art by Lynn Rafil, transcript assistance by Darby Summers, and music courtesy of the Independent Music Licensing Collective. Our production and house manager is Erin Bark. If you like what you're listening to, please tell your friends and let them know where to find us. Our website is wanderingpathpod.com, where you'll find links to subscribe and follow us wherever the path leads. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/wanderingpathpod. We're so grateful for anything you can do to help us keep making this show. Thanks for wandering with us. Till next time.